The tariffs are the greatest. That's the statement from the president today. Now some lawmakers in his own party are blasting what they call a bailout for some Americans hurt by those same tariffs. An administration announced a short-term plan to give farmers billions of dollars in aid after they took a big hit from retaliatory tariffs. Republican Senator Ben Sasse has released a statement that reads in part, this trade war is cutting the legs out from under farmers, and White House's plan is to spend $12 billion on gold crutches. This administration's tariffs and bailouts aren't going to make America great again. They're just going to make it 1929 again. The House Speaker, Paul Ryan, says he's made it clear he does not believe tariffs are the right answer. But the president is standing by his import taxes.
You have to see these trade deals I'm working on. They're a disaster. The farmers will be the biggest beneficiary. Watch. We're opening up markets. You watch what's going on. Just be a little patient.
So far, they are not beneficiaries. The United States Trade Representative Office holding a hearing today with representatives from companies that could also take a hit from the tariffs. Let's bring in Ken Thomas, White House reporter for the Associated Press. What is the goal here?
The president is trying to buy some time, essentially. He's trying to help farmers, especially soybean producers, who have been hard hit by these retaliatory tariffs by China in response to the Trump tariffs, and he's trying to help them get through the next few months, in a short-term way to try to give him more time to negotiate deals not only with China but with the European Union and with Canada. This is something aimed at providing direct payments to farmers, buying up excess crops, trying to create trade markets. But as you say, a lot of Republicans will look at this and say, this is nothing but a government bailout.
And when he says the tariffs are the greatest, what is the White House saying to explain what he means by that?
The president and I believe the White House have always felt like tariffs are a very good negotiating tool. And he has felt that since he's slapped some of these tariffs on some of the U.S. trading partners, that has actually gotten these countries to the negotiating table. Tomorrow we're going to have European Commission members coming to the White House talking about not only their dispute over steel and aluminum tariffs, which the president brought forth a few months ago, but this potential for a much larger dispute over automobiles. They're talking about, potentially a 20% tariff on imports from Europe. So that could cover things like BMWs and Mercedes and Volkswagens that are built over there and brought into the country. And, that's something that could really affect this country. There are a lot of people who would feel it in the pocketbooks when they look to buy a new car.
Free trade is a conservative principle, obviously. What are conservatives on the Hill saying in response?
They're not happy. I mean, they feel like tariffs are essentially taxes on American consumers, and they would like to see the president back away from this aggressive use of tariffs. That said, though, they do want to see better trade terms built. And so the president would argue, look, I just need some more time. I'm getting these countries to come to the table and negotiate, and pretty soon they'll cry uncle. But the question is, at what cost? In 6 months from now, are we going to see American consumers, cutting back their spending? Could this affect the economy? We just don't know. This is such an open-ended process right now, and we have these multiple fronts in Europe, in Mexico, and Canada, and of course with China. So it's just very hard to predict where this tariff fight, this trade fight is going to go.
Some of our viewers may go to the market and recognize that some of the crops or products from some of the crops that are grown in, let's say, Trump states have gone down in price, which may seem great. But there's a farmer out there or a manufacturer out there or somebody out there who's getting a lot less money for his or her products. And they're the ones who are voting in those all-important states, for instance, Iowa.
Absolutely. In the Chinese have been very strategic in how they have constructed these retaliatory tariffs. they've put it on products like soybeans and pork, and that's aimed at hurting the Trump base. I mean, a lot of these products are produced in the Midwest states that went with the president in 2016, and they're hoping to exact as much pain as possible so that maybe that will affect the president's mindset. We'll have to see how it goes.
Ken Thomas from the Associated Press. Thank you, Ken.
Thanks, Shep.